Hello everyone, welcome to today's Siemens EP Symposium session on your entry into professional power monitoring. So, who's talking to you today? Joining me today is my colleague Jimmy Higginbotham, the product manager for Power Breakers. Say hi, Jimmy.
Hi everyone.
My name is Scott Bailey and I'm the product manager for Circuit Protection Products. In this session, we'll be touching on digitalization in LV switchgear, whilst focusing on some key topics such as our Siemens metering portfolio and accompanying software offering.
So why would we want to digitalize our LV distribution network? Well, as part of modern industry, we're always looking for ways to save time wherever possible. Digitalization is one of the steps we can take to achieve this. It brings to our fingertips all the necessary information we need to reduce energy consumption, whilst also meeting new standards for energy management, such as ISO 50001 and ISO 50003. Due to our ever-changing global climate, countries and businesses alike are always looking for ways to reduce their carbon footprint and improve their green image. To do this, we need to know what our carbon footprint is. Digitalization in LV switchgear is a concept which can start to provide this information. But what is digitalization as a concept when it comes to power monitoring? Well, for those of you familiar with Industry 4.0, digital twins and cloud-based applications, what we are referring to here is bringing LV switchgear up to standard when compared with, say, a factory automation system, for example, where Siemens is at the cutting edge of technology. Within an LV system, there are many components that offer the potential to monitor, let's say, active, reactive energy, harmonics, phase balance rotation, etc. The Siemens Power Monitoring portfolio allows you to access these variables remotely and easily. Gone are the days of standing at the switchboard with a clipboard in hand, noting down power usage. But don't just take my word for it. Let's have a listen to a Siemens customer and partner from Germany, Rexel, to look at a real-world power monitoring application.
Increasingly, distributed energy systems and renewable energy sources require new intelligent solution approaches. Power monitoring provides the basis for such approaches. Hagemeyer Germany is one of the most popular German wholesalers of electrical equipment. Ever since we introduced power monitoring here in Maisach, we've been able to identify important energy hogs, and we now know where we need to take action to save money in the future.
It's very important for our company to use power monitoring software. It allows us to identify major power hogs, eliminate them, and ultimately cut costs. Of course, the use of the Power Manager power monitoring software and MindSphere have enabled us to operate on the market in many new ways. As a result, we're providing our customers with a transparent and especially a mobile power monitoring capability.
We've installed more than 100 measuring devices from the 7K PAC series in our Centron portfolio. All products were installed in Sivacon 8MF1 system cubicles or to some extent in existing equipment such as the Alpha distribution boards. The measuring devices were connected directly to MindSphere via the MindConnect interface. The data is processed in the Rexel Power app developed jointly with Siemens.
We're especially proud of the showroom that we opened here in Maisach with a focus on power monitoring with Siemens. The Sivacon 8MF1 control cabinet is a particular highlight. It has special lighting and allows our customers as well as our employees to learn all about power monitoring anytime. The power monitoring solution meets the requirements of ISO 50001 certification. For energy-intensive companies in particular, this is the key to obtaining energy and power tax relief.
Since Siemens has taken the lead in digitalization and Hagemeyer has also taken up the cause, Hagemeyer is developing from a classic electrical wholesaler into a service provider. Right here at this location, it is easy to see how digitalization and Industry 4.0 work.
Overall, it can be said that the opportunity to manage this project was a wonderful experience, and we're looking forward to working together again.
Siemens, ingenuity for life.
Thanks, Jimmy, and thanks to Excel. Practically speaking, what you can see on the screen are the Siemens PAC meters which provide the data capture. The portfolio encompasses the basic energy meter at the bottom end, alongside individual branch current monitoring and all the way up to high performance power quality meters. These devices are suitable for applications spanning from basic infrastructure usage through to high-level engineered industrial applications. The range we'll dive into in a minute is the PAC 1200 range. But before that, what if you need a circuit breaker with digital energy monitoring built in to save on space? Is this something we can do, Jimmy?
Yes, Scott, indeed we can. Introducing the 3VA molded case circuit breaker ETU 800 series. As many of you will know, historically circuit breakers were strictly an analog protective switching device. Then along came electronic chip unit circuit breakers, allowing the setting of protective functions via microprocessor-based relays. The ETU 800 series takes this a step further. It includes a built-in energy monitoring metering function without the use of external current transformers, whilst ETU 800 is also available in multiple integrated communication protocol options. This allows the gathering of that energy monitoring data that we require with ease via digital communication. It still has that old school touch though. As you can see on the screen, there is an integrated display on the front of the device should you wish to get your clipboard back and go back and do it old school style. Now this slide is a bit wordy. I can only apologize for that, but it's here to give you the facts and figures around the ETU 800 series. I want to draw your attention to the COM 800 unit though. This is for tying 8 devices together to allow one protocol connection point to 8 individual MCCBs. Those protocols could be Profinet, Profibus, Modbus TCP, the usual suspects. But we have a lot to get through, and this is not a 3VA presentation. So that's the 3VA 800 series at a glance. And for more information on 3VA, feel free to stick around and send any questions my way in the Q&A at the end of the symposium. Now then, Scott, I believe you wanted to talk about PAC 1200.
I did, Jimmy, thanks. This is our 7KT PAC 1200. As I mentioned, it sits in the bottom end of our energy meter range. It is designed to take measurements through individual phase sensors and process the measured information back to the data manager, from which point it can be viewed in the data manager's built-in web server or from the mobile app. The PAC 1200 gives you the possibility of measuring and recording the consumption from each outgoing phase in your distribution boards. This provides you with the capability of highlighting the problem areas where you can actively look to reduce your energy consumption at the lowest power distribution level. So, what kind of configurability can we get with the PAC 1200 range? You might be wondering, how exactly does this metering fit into the panel? Apologies here, as the image isn't quite representative of what we see in a typical British standard distribution board, but this is an EU one. The principle is still the same though. It still represents how the kit would sit in the board as we know it. Effectively, the kit consists of 3 components: the sensor, which sits around the outgoing cable, the sensor bar, which is what all the sensors mount onto and collect the measured data through the RS-45 Modbus RTU connections. From this point, it sends the measured data to the third and final component, the data manager. All the data collected here can be accessed via TCP/IP Ethernet connection and then viewed in real time from a browser, or like I mentioned before, the mobile application. As you can see, this is a really simple and modular plug and play system.
So it's okay talking about it, but let's have a look at PAC 1200 in reality and also what's available through that integrated web server interface. Take it away, Scott.
Hi guys, I'm going to be taking you through the PAC 1200 system we have here. Sorry if this is a bit of a rudimentary recording, it is COVID after all. So let's just have a quick look at what we've got here. So this is our PAC 1200 demo rig. The rig consists of a data manager, two sensor bars, and some CT sensors behind those. This setup is reflective of what you would see at a standard low voltage MCB distribution board. You'll also notice that we have a standard EU socket here on the front, and for the purposes of this demonstration, we've connected a low level load to simulate power usage. Now with that in mind, I've tethered my laptop to the Wi-Fi router on the back of the rig so that I can now take you through the digital aspects of the PAC 1200 via the web server on an internet browser. Okay, so this is the home page you will find when you enter the IP address of the data manager you wish to view into any internet browser. As you can see here, there are several tabs. You can view historical statistics, as well as the current consumption values. The current and historical values can be viewed overall. So this is the consolidated power which the data manager is receiving. You can also view the values by individual sensor for each of the outgoing loads. You can also view what budget you have set and how the usage is currently stacked against your tariff. This can be viewed by the single month, or you can see a breakdown across the year's usage. Also, there is an energy stopwatch. This feature allows you to set a live capture of your energy usage, giving you the possibility of live power usage diagnosis. You then, of course, have your settings menu, where you can view information about the data manager you are connected to. You can look into the individual sensor settings also. This is where you can view your sensor topology and give unique names to each of your sensors depending on what they're monitoring. You can also choose up to 8 sensors which you may want to monitor more closely and create a diagram of their consumption. The plug and play aspect of the PAC 1200 system can really be seen here. Another useful feature available is the ability to set export files to produce reports at intervals of your choosing. You can then send them out to the email address which you have set, or you can simply save it to the client hard drive you are accessing the web server through to give you further customization of these reports. Lastly, you can set your tariff based upon your energy supply's rates, so that it can be factored into the reports you choose to export. It can also be adjusted for when your energy supplier is planning to make a change to their rates. So, when you find out what the change is, you can plan it into your data manager. This enables the reporting to remain true to value from the date of the rate of change. Remember, the web browser and iOS and Android apps are completely free of charge and come with the PAC 1200 kit. So, this was a quick look at the web server interface for the PAC 1200. I took you through some of the key features it has to offer. I hope you will agree with me that it's a pretty versatile piece of kit.
Okay, thank you, Scott, for that wonderful demonstration on the PAC 1200 and its supporting software. I suppose the question now is, if we want to access energy monitoring variables such as active or reactive energy from the rest of the PAC portfolio, how can we do this right at our fingertips? This is where Siemens Power Manager comes to the fore. Client or server-based, Power Manager comes available with various device pack expansions, depending on the number of PAC products you have in your LV distribution network. The software communicates directly to the PAC meters in real time and reports back to you whichever energy data is important to you and has been selected. Power Manager can also be used for some remote setting functionality of the PAC meters themselves. For example, you could set a unique meter ID to better visualize your plant. As you can see by the fact we're on Power Manager version 4.2, this obviously demonstrates that Power Manager has been around for quite a number of years now. So with Power Manager, you know you're getting a tried and tested energy monitoring tool. We are continually updating the Power Manager as an operating system. So all the latest Siemens Centron and PAC devices which have the energy monitoring capability built in will be included in the latest version. Incidentally, we have recently moved up from version 3 to version 4. So for any of you listening that do currently have version 3, don't worry, don't fret. It is backwards compatible, so your projects will transfer to version 4. As for interrogation of the data that Power Manager provides, it can almost give you anything you want. So without further ado, Scott, let's take a short look at the software.
No problem, Jimmy. Okay, so what I'm going to be showing you is an example Power Manager project, which is pre-populated with some power monitoring devices with the use of the Power Config tool. I'll briefly take you through how we can create a custom report from within Power Manager. First of all, we need to ensure we are looking at our report definition subsection within the project and make sure we are running in operating mode. We then click Create Report Definition. At this point, you can choose what style of report you wish to create from the selection. We'll just go with the standard one for now. From here, we can simply drag and drop a choice of devices into the report for which we want an export of data. Alternatively, you can click New and select the devices you want to add from a drop-down list. Now we can define exactly what data we want to see, either by scrolling through the list or typing in the type of measurement. Let's just copy and paste this across our device selection. There we go. We now have to give the report a name. So click standard. Okay. Once that is saved, the application viewer tab becomes available. Here we can define such things as the report duration and the length of intervals within that duration. We'll just leave this at the default settings. Now it takes some time to put together the specified information as it needs to search through the recorded data and record the necessary entries. The time this takes can vary depending on the duration and interval that you set. And here it is, a full customized report.
Thanks once again, Scott, for another wonderful video. That was just a little taster of the reporting capabilities of Power Manager, amongst its many other customizable features. Right, so we've spoken so far about energy meters, their communication functions. We've now spoken about Power Manager energy monitoring software and the ability to interrogate the data. However, if we want to bring our LV switchgear into the fourth industrial revolution and connect to the Siemens MindSphere or other cloud-based applications, for example, is there some sort of magic box that is capable of doing this for us?
Yes, there is. Introducing the 7KN Power Center 3000. Let's take a better look.
The 7KN Power Center 3000 IoT data platform gets you started with the Internet of Things, providing an easy, cost-effective first step toward energy monitoring and digitalizing your power distribution system. After parameterization with the Centron Power Config commissioning and diagnostic software, the 7KN Power Center 3000 collects and processes the energy and plant data of measuring devices and communication-capable circuit breakers. The information is made available for applications on the intranet and protected by a variety of security measures on the internet. You can access the data at any time via a web interface, the Centron Power Manager Power Monitoring software. Or you can work directly in the MindSphere Open IoT operating system through encrypted cloud communication. The 7KN Power Center 3000 is ISO 50001 and IoT ready, and paves the way for easy energy management thanks to faster and easier commissioning, easily adaptable and more transparent visualization, storage, location-independent evaluation, and further processing with MindSphere. One switchgear communication interface that simplifies commissioning, ongoing operation, and security settings. Network with the future with the 7KN Power Center 3000.
There were a few Americanisms in there, weren't there? This is a global product after all. Anyway, that gives you an idea of the capabilities of our magic box. When it comes to the technicalities, the current version of the Power Center 3000 supports all of the latest devices from the Centron and PAC portfolios and can be accessed via Modbus TCP comms. As the video alluded to, setup is possible via our Power Config app. Please stick around for Jimmy's session on 3WA, where he'll take a further look at Power Config. So that's power monitoring made simple by Siemens. Thank you for your attention in this session, and we'll catch you later on in the Q&A at the end of the symposium.